I love El Paso, but there are a couple of things to be said that people might not always like. So today we're talking about the 5 worst things about El Paso. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back to Sun City Living. If you're new here, my name is Teresa Ramirez and I am a realtor with Clearview Realty here in the beautiful El Paso. So today we're talking about a topic that's a little bit difficult for me because as most of you know, I love El Paso, I love my city, but there are a couple of things to be said that can be a little bit rough when you're living here. So I've got 5 things, the 5 worst things about living in El Paso today for you. And I hope that this helps. I've put out a lot of videos on, great things about El Paso and what you should know about moving here. So if you're in the market to move here, or you're just curious about it, check the video up above. That one is talking about what you need to know before you move here. Which has a lot of good information. So check that one out after we're done here. All right, guys, so if you are not already, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. I talk about all things El Paso with a little bit of real estate sprinkled in, but I talk a lot about the area. I talk a lot about the market. So if these videos are up your alley and you're thinking that it's something that can help you, I invite you to subscribe, like this video. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I do my best to get to all of the questions. And again, it helps people find me that might be looking for information on the area. And that is my goal. So with that said, guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. I have my notes. So diving right in, reason number 1, which also inspired this video, we had our very first windy, dusty day last week, and it was terrible, guys. I live in a newer construction area, so most of the houses are built, but there's still a lot of dirt. And so it was a super windy day. There was so much dust in the air. And I thought, I really hate this about El Paso. That is one of my least favorite things about here. And I thought I really should make a video where I talk about these things because it's important for you guys to know. So we are, El Paso is desert. And we do experience some very windy days during the months of March and April. During Easter, you can expect to have a windy day, which I know is rough, but early spring, El Pasoans know, brings winds, and that's just something that we have to live with. So it does call for low visibility at times. Winds can peak at 40 to 50 miles per hour, which is very, very windy. It does tend to blow over, items that could be outside. I saw a couple of basketball courts on the floor, from picking up my kid from school on the way home. So it does definitely cause some issues for some people. But the good thing is that it is only in early spring, and it is a small price to pay for the amazing weather that we have year round. So yeah, El Paso has winds. That's reason number 1. Reason number 2, piggybacking off of reason number 1, with dust comes a lot of allergies. El Paso people suffer from allergies. Again, it can be due to the wind that's in the air, but spring, though beautiful, everything is blooming, it brings a lot of allergies, as I know it does in other places as well. So spring, fall allergies are definitely a thing here in El Paso, and they can be pretty bad. So another thing that contributes to allergies here in El Paso are mulberry trees. So in the late 80s, early 90s, people began planting mulberry trees. People love the aesthetic look of them and how well they did here in the desert. So a lot of people planted mulberry trees at parks and neighborhoods, their backyards. And so you'll find a lot of mulberry trees here now, though they've been banned since 1993, again, due to how much pollen they release and how people can be allergic to them, but they still exist. A lot of trees were already planted and therefore grandfathered in. And so that is one of the really big contributors when it comes to allergies. So reason number 2, allergies. All right, and leading on to number 3, we get hot summers. So if you've been doing research on El Paso and you've been watching videos, you know that our summers can definitely be kind of brutal. Though summers are typically dry here, it is a little bit more manageable to be here in the summer. However, we definitely get some hot days. So between May and September is going to be pretty much the prime time of summer here, with the hottest month being June, with an average of about 96 average of 96 degrees a day. And on average, El Paso experiences about 16 days of triple-digit days. So you can expect 2 weeks of over 100-degree temperatures. So again, can definitely be brutal if you work outside, if that, or if you play sports or anything like that, where it's gonna require you to be outside. It is definitely something to think about. Thankfully, once September comes into play, it kind of dies down a little bit. It's not too bad anymore, but El Paso summers, it is a thing, guys. In speaking about humidity, I get questions a lot from people who are moving here who are inquiring about humidity, and the thing about it is that El Paso has gotten a little bit more humid as time has gone by, but we're still nowhere near the humidity of Central Texas gets. So for example, our humidity here is about 40% on average compared to other major cities. So for example, in Austin, typically their average is 67%, Dallas at 65%, and Houston at 75%. So it does get a little humid here. However, nothing compared to central El Paso cities. All right, guys, so going into reason number 4 is little to no rain. Again, guys, we are in the desert. We get approximately 10 inches of rain a year, which is super low compared to the whopping 38% that you can expect in it as an average in the United States. So we get most of our rain in August and not a whole lot throughout the year. And if we do, it's typically a sprinkle here, a sprinkle there. If we get rain in the months of March and April, it's kind of like rain mixed with dirt. So it's just enough to dirty your cars, but not enough to make your lawn green, which can definitely be really expensive if you're hoping to have like a green, luscious backyard, with super green grass. It's gonna cost you because you're gonna have to water quite a bit to get it that color. El Paso we just don't get a lot of rain, so there's that. With that said, a lot of the new construction homes, or most of them, I should say, when they do landscaping in the front, typically that's going to be zero landscaping. So it's going to be rock, some cement, and then some synthetic grass. So that's a really good thing. Then you only have to worry about if you want to put, some grass in your backyard, full well knowing that you're gonna have to water it and pay for that water. All right, guys, moving on to reason number 5, accessibility to other major cities. El Paso is kind of isolated in a way, even though we are a border city to Mexico and a border state to New Mexico. We're kind of just on the tip. We have accessibility to Juarez, which is just across the border, and we have accessibility to Las Cruces, which is just about an hour away. But when it comes to major cities, it's not something you can kind of just drive over the weekend and get somewhere else where you can find all like the major restaurant chains, like Albuquerque, Dallas, Austin. You're gonna have to travel if that's somewhere that you're hoping to go. Up above, I am gonna go ahead and link one of my weekend or day trips videos that I have to Cloudcraft or to Ruidoso or to Mesilla. There are a couple places where you can go, but not major cities. So if you don't like road tripping is not your thing, then you definitely want to think about this one. Because anywhere that you want to go is going to require a road trip or a flight, and you're not really going to be able to do it in like a really short amount of time. If you're like us who like road tripping and like to kind of get out, during spring break or the summer, you can drive to Anaheim, California and be there in 10 hours. You could drive to Austin and be there in about 9 hours. San Antonio, 8 hours. But again, it is a drive. It is a thing. So though Paso is awesome and the city has, offers plenty of things to do, plenty of restaurants and all that good stuff, if you are trying to get to like a major city on the weekend and back, El Paso is probably just not the way to go. All right, guys, so as a bonus, I'm gonna throw in one more thing that people find challenging about living here, and that is that the drivers here in El Paso have a really hard time driving anytime that there is any kind of change in the weather, such as rain or snow or ice or anything like that. Because our city and the people here are so used to mild weather, nothing extreme. When we get a little bit of rain or a little bit of snow, people kind of just freak out and the drivers have a really hard time. So I want to say that every city has bad drivers because I've lived in multiple cities throughout the United States. And I know that bad drivers are just a thing everywhere, but El Paso is specifically because, again, there's a change or some type of precipitation and people kind of just don't know how to drive in those types of conditions because we just don't usually get precipitation. So anytime there's a little bit of rain or snow, you can expect some multiple accidents on the major interstates, and that's kind of just something that we have to live with. Though I will tell you that even though we get very little rain, when we do get rain, desert rain is just beautiful. It smells amazing. There's nothing that I can compare it to. You'd have to come visit during our rainy season in order to get a whiff of that desert rain. It's spectacular, guys. So I hope that this video has been helpful to you. El Paso is my city, so it's hard for me to say bad things about it, but these are the things that I feel like if you're thinking you might want to move here, these are certainly things to keep in mind. So again, if you're not subscribed, I invite you to subscribe. I try to put out videos weekly, though work has been kind of crazy, so my schedule's been kind of crazy. But if you've been thinking about moving to El Paso and are interested in potentially buying a house here, I invite you to reach out to me. My information is down in the description box. I'll link my Instagram, Facebook, and as well as my personal cell phone where you can send me a text message, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.